So having done the reproducer level, I'm now going to do the high frequency response using the high frequency tone on the alignment tape. And there is there's a separate high frequency response pot for each speed on this machine. If we were doing this set, if this was a 15 IPS alignment, I would need to be sure that the machine was set to the appropriate EQ curve. In some machines that involves throwing a toggle switch to go between IEC and CCIR. In some machines it actually involves swapping out the entire repro card. In older machines where the machine was intended to be in one market or the other, there was often cards that were sold for the US market and cards that were sold for the European market, and you would have to swap between those cards. In any case, in this machine, at 30 IPS, there is still a separate adjustments for each speed. So I'm going to be using the reproduction high frequency EQ control here.
10 kilohertz.
And again, it's good practice to wibble the control up and down around the 0 point and then settle on the 0 point. For the same reason, you want the wiper of the potentiometer to go back and forth across the correct point to make sure the surface of that conductive trace is clean. Now I'm noticing a small amount of settling here, so I'm going to adjust that. Having adjusted, I'm going to adjust it after having settled. And I'm now happy with that. I'm now happy that the machine is aligned with respect to level and high frequency response. It's slightly too much to get into here, but the low frequency response should always be calibrated to the session that you're about to conduct rather than to the pre-recorded low frequency tones on the alignment tape. And the reason for that being that the recording characteristics and the playback characteristics at low frequencies are very machine dependent. And while it's possible to calibrate a machine so that it plays back any other machine's tapes correctly, it isn't possible to make a low frequency recording adjustment. So if I were to calibrate the reproduction head on this machine to the low frequency tones here, and I noticed a discrepancy when I was recording on this machine, I would have no way of adjusting the low frequency response from the record side. So it's better to make those adjustments from a recorded low frequency tone on the session, and then whoever deals with the tapes later will adjust his machine to compensate for the low frequency response of the recording side of this machine. There are some machines that have low frequency record compensation controls, but this machine is not one of them.